So Gibson acquired Mesa Boogie? Where did that come from? Who? What? Where? When? Is it good? Is it bad? Let's discuss. Hey, how you doing? David Taub here, co-creator of NextLevelGuitar.com. Hope all's going well, and I hope your guitar and musical journeys are going famously. Been quite a day, right? I started getting the text this morning that Gibson has acquired Mesa Boogie amps. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. And people are freaking out, man. I mean, people are like going nuts. And I can understand why, because usually when things like this happen, right, where big companies acquire other companies that are both, iconic brands and are loved by so many and have so many products and arms out of each brand and people loving them, what's the first thing that comes to mind? They're afraid of, prices going up. They're afraid of lines being cut and models being cut, and they're afraid of lowering quality. And Gibson really hasn't had, the most stellar track record of, success when acquiring companies. And they've made a lot of really questionable decisions. However, this is a little bit different than a lot of the companies they've acquired in the past, which were more kind of consumer audio. This is more in their wheelhouse. I mean, Gibson used to make amplifiers. They say, as of now, everything is going to stay the same with Mesa. They're going to carry on doing business and selling their stuff just like they did in the past. So it's a big deal, and it's going to be really interesting to see what happens and how this plays out over time. So I want to hear your comments on this. So please leave a comment below and let me know what you think of this, right? Also subscribe to the channel. That really helps us to keep bringing the content, as well as then you'll be notified when we have new lessons up. And also, if you like the video, please click the like button. Give it a thumbs up, share it, and thank you so much for your support. And did I say people are freaking out? And if you read a lot of comments in the videos and on the social media posts, I mean, it seems like it's like 90% negative, but really funny. And I'm going to read some of them, as well as we're going to get into some quotes that Mesa has made and that Gibson has made. We're going to dissect things a little bit, talk about what I think are some of the pluses and minuses and why this happened. First of all, I have to say that if you know my videos, which I've been posting online now for over 15 years, isn't that crazy? I've been posting lessons and content online since 2005. Time sure flies, but I'm a Mesa Boogie lover, right? I love Mesa Boogie amps. I've had many of them over the years, and I even, my main amp that I play live with now, I use a Mark V. So I love the product, and I also love Gibson Les Paul guitars. I've owned many of those over the years. I'm down to one now. This one, you've probably seen me play all the time, right? This is a 96. Now, everybody knows, like in 2018, Gibson had to declare bankruptcy, and now, and they went under a big restructuring, and now they're publicly traded, and they're big conglomerates. So why would they do this? Why would this even happen? And how is Gibson in the financial position to make such a large acquisition? I can tell you a few things that I think. And the first thing is that the founder and president, Randall Smith of Mesa Boogie, who started Mesa Boogie like 51 years ago, right? Just an iconic brand, as is Gibson Guitars. He's like 75 years old now, and he still goes to work every day. And, he was probably getting to the point in his life where he's thinking, I can't do this forever, and I need a way, I need an avenue for this brand to continue after I can't do it anymore. And then you start looking around at other companies and trying to find a match. So I think that certainly that could have went into it. And that is not uncommon, by the way. Mike Soldano did the same thing. Soldano Amps. Mike Soldano basically was running the Soldano company, and he kind of got tired of the day-to-day kind of business end of it, the grind end of the things, right? He wanted to focus more on the design and the electronics. That's what he was about, right? That's what he found the most fun, not the business stuff. So, and he got to a point where same thing, he wanted his brand to continue. So he looked around and found a partner with boutique amp distribution, and he saw the positive things they were doing with like Friedman amps, and it was a really good match. And now, the Soldano line is continuing, and Mike is on board, but he is doing the design end. He's back doing the things that he loves to do. This is not an uncommon thing. So in that regard, I'm not too shocked that this happened. So let me read a few quotes from both companies. Here's from Mesa Engineering. They say, "We are now part of the Gibson family. Mesa and Gibson share a long history and unbridled passion for creating the highest quality musical instruments that have served musicians worldwide for decades." The interesting thing I think that they say there is sharing a long history and unbridled passion, creating the highest quality musical instruments. Well, Is anyone really going to agree that Gibson has made the highest quality musical instruments? I mean, they've been plagued with Q&A issues for years and years. And it is, although it is true that over the past few years they do have seemed to got their act together more for sure. But the highest quality instruments, I mean, I don't know. I find that statement kind of interesting. And let me read a quote from Gibson's CEO, and I quote, "We don't have Gibson amps today, so we started thinking about who is the best out there, not just in terms of their brand, but also like-minded in terms of leveraging the iconic past and leaning into the innovative future." Well, that's another interesting statement because as far as innovative futures, is Mesa Boogie really on the cutting edge of innovation? I mean, don't get me wrong, I love their product and they make great stuff, but think about it. I mean, I think there's really only two amps in their line that are MIDI compatible, right? The Triple Crown and the the JP, the John Petrucci model. How much new and innovative stuff have they put out in the last 10, 15, 20 years? I mean, yeah, they put out some pedals and stuff, but that's kind of based off of their circuitry that they had. They keep updating the Mark amps, right? Which I love, by the way. And, you know, I mean, they just put out like the Fillmore, but again, it seemed based off of their other things. So they do a lot of repackaging. And it is an iconic brand and it's great, but it's interesting that they're saying that, you know, like they were looking for this, you know, cutting edge. I just find those statements kind of interesting because they really don't line up with reality, so to speak. But of course, there's a lot of good things that can happen from this merger. For instance, like Mesa now will have access to Gibson's distribution network, you know, and that will put Mesa in so many more places. Maybe they'll even be back in Guitar Center again. I'm kind of shocked but not shocked that this happened. The bottom line with companies today, especially, you know, anything to do on the retail end of things, is that companies have to adapt. You know, they have to try different things, and some things they try maybe are not going to work out. Some things will. You know, Gibson has tried adapting and tried different things. A lot of their acquisitions in the past have been very questionable. But you have to be able to adapt in today's business world, as well as you have to be able to deal with the tremendous amount of competition. And maybe Mesa is starting to feel that a little bit, perhaps, because if you really look at it, think about like 20, 25, 30 years ago. I mean, Mesa Boogie was on top of the high gain amplifier market, right? Really wasn't a lot of high gain amps out there back then, and they were the, you know, they were the kings. Today there are tons of companies making high gain amplifiers, and a lot of them are doing it really well and at lower cost. Now, I'm not taking anything away from the Mesa tone and their proprietary magic special sauce that makes their stuff Mesa, and I love the product, like I said before, and I love the tone. But there's a lot of other companies out there that are doing the high gain thing, and they're putting a lot of modern twists on it. And maybe part of Gibson's thought process for doing this, it seems to me, might be the fact that they might be trying to appeal a little bit more to a younger market. You know what I mean? I mean, Gibson for a long time has been known as, you know, like dad guitars, because some of them are so expensive that, you know, only you have to be older in order to afford them and whatnot. And maybe this is putting them in a position where they offer more inline products with a lot of more modern players or younger players too. But people are, you know, people get nervous and they are freaking out. And like I said, if you look at the comments in a lot of videos and the posts, they're big percent, high percent negative, but some of them are really funny. I mean, I'm on Mesa's Instagram post here. Listen to this comment. Can we expect an authentic price hike? Right? They're talking about, you know, that awful video that Gibson put out a couple years ago, that Play Authentic video, which was just the total wrong message to send. It was an awful video, and Gibson eventually did take that video down, and the CEO did apologize for it. But it was just terrible, and I don't even understand how a video like that can get by. Like they produced that video, right? And then maybe they're sitting around at a table and they're like, okay, let's watch this video because we want to release it. And maybe the CEO's there with a bunch of his other high-ranking Gibson officials, and they're all in a room watching. How could you watch that video and afterwards be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's great, let's release it? It was a mistake, and they admitted it, but funny comment. Let's read another one. The next Mesa, listen to this one. The next Mesa amp will make your guitar out of tune. They're referring to that, another blunder by Gibson when they started with that whole robot tuner thing on their guitars. Again, not a very good decision by Gibson. I mean, they're trying things, and Gibson has made, you know, some poor choices with the designs of some of their instruments too, right? If you look back at all the Gibson guitars like the Corvus and some of those reverse V's and some of the other, guitars that they made. Swing and a miss, right? But I mean, they're trying. It's just amazing sometimes that those things pass by everyone and they think it's a good idea at the time. So the bottom line is, do you think this is a good thing, right? I have my doubts. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think it's a good thing that the Mesa Boogie brand is going to continue. That, I think, is a good thing. A big criticism of Gibson for the longest time when they're doing these kind of things is, why don't you just stay in your wheelhouse and just make the best guitars possible? Just focus on that, And they were profitable. That end of their business was profitable. But I don't know. Again, businesses have to adapt. They have to try different things to survive, and maybe that just isn't enough to make that company float. I don't know, but whatever. I think the jury's going to be out on this one, and it's kind of going to be like, we're going to have to see what happens over a little bit of time. I hope that neither brand gets damaged in this, and that they only build on one another and make each brand better and stronger without raising their prices. Everyone keeps talking about that, but maybe, who knows, maybe something good will come of this, where they'll produce a product, maybe a Mesa product that can be a little bit more affordable to most people. That's possible, and it seems like something like that with all the competition might even be a really good idea, right? Put out something where you don't cut the quality, making it, totally high quality, but yet, in the more affordable range. That's my thoughts on the subject. I want to hear yours. Please leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel. That really helps us to keep bringing the content. Then you'll be notified when we have new lessons up. Also, in the YouTube description box below, I'll put some links to some free jam tracks and free guitar lessons. Also, some links to my new record that I dropped with my original band Mind Cell. I think it's a slamming record, some of the best music I've ever written. I'm stoked about it. Would love for you to check it out. I'll put links to that below. Stay tuned. Tons more killer video lessons and content coming. And I want to thank you for watching this video and for your support over the years and years. So appreciate it. And remember, your guitar and musical journey is an evolution. So enjoy the journey. Take care, rock on. I'll see you in the next lesson.